Let's cross down live to a researcher from another planet. His name is Harold the Peacock. And he's got historyouthere.com. He's going to solve a mystery or change history. 150 years ago, St. Mary's had a tragedy, and he's going to tell us all about it. Tell us all about it there, man.
Hey, good morning, Danny. Yeah, there was an awful tragedy at Ipswich 150 years ago with the death of two pupils at St. Mary's Catholic School. Now, it's time to rewrite the name of the true hero back into history for this one.
Right.
On the afternoon of Sunday, the 26th of November, 1871, a number of boarders at St. Mary's were in their dormitory, and they were waiting for a storm to end.
Right.
Now, there was a thin iron wire extended across the room in which a dividing curtain was hung. Now, suddenly, a bolt of lightning entered the dormitory and travelled along the wire. It lit up the room with an enormous flash, as if the whole world had burst into flames.
Wow.
All the boys in the room were left lying on the floor, spread in every direction.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them remained conscious.
Wow.
8 had to be carried outside. 2 boys were instantly killed. Now, their names were Frederick Thomas Ahrens and George O'Brien. They were aged 14 and 11 years respectively. The father of young Ahrens had built the Bowen Hotel, which was the first hotel in Roma and said to be the best hotel west of Toowoomba.
Wow.
Young O'Brien, he was the son of a bailiff of the district court. Now, arriving on the scene were Mr. James Breen, who was in charge of the school, Father Henry Brunn, and Brother Polycarp. They began to rub the deceased boys with brandy in a bid to revive them. Now, within 10 minutes, Dr. William Vos Losberg arrived. Now, he was the same doctor who years later caused such controversy in the infamous Gatton murders. Now, one of the survivors was Ted O'Neill, who only 4 days earlier had celebrated his 9th birthday. Ted would grow up. He later became a vote as a counsellor. But 63 years after the disaster, Ted recounted the story for his local newspaper. He told how a boy by the name of Sides was the only one to have remained conscious. The 16-year-old Sides carried all but one of the boys out through the smoke to safety. While Sides was rescuing him, he sent one for a doctor and another for Father Brunn. Now, the lad was Edward Sides, who grew up with his family on Nicholas Street here in Ipswich. He became a well-known prison barrister and then studied for the priesthood. He enlisted for the First World War and served as an army chaplain. In 1918, he was slightly gassed and returned to England. There he died in hospital just 4 days after the armistice. He was buried with full military honours. So that was a sad end for the hero of St. Mary's from 1871, except that it wasn't true.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's true. In the retelling of the story, the name of the well-known Edward Sides had been substituted for that of his brother. Both boys had attended Ipswich Grammar School and had brilliant academic careers, but one of them died young and the other enjoyed a high public profile. It was the older James Sides who dragged the survivors of the St. Mary's tragedy out of the dormitory. It was James who had the presence of mind to send for Dr. von Losberg and Father Brunn, and it was James's testimony on which the inquiry relied all those years ago. So, Danny, James died in 1891, and this year marks the 130th anniversary of his death, and next month is the 150th anniversary of the St. Mary's tragedy itself. So it's time to rewrite the name of James Patrick Sides back into Ipswich history, Danny. This is important.
You're amazing. We get the facts. We want the facts. I'd love was it Dr. Floggenhuisenhazen? What was his name?
Yeah, that was Dr. William von Losberg. He was a bit of controversy.
What a great name, eh?
He was a great doctor, except he didn't know how to do the Gatton murders he kind of messed up on, but never mind.
What about rubbing brandy over the kids? What was that about?
I have no idea. I guess back in those days we didn't really understand electricity, and brandy was maybe a cure-all, but certainly didn't cure those kids, unfortunately. Maybe heart massage might have worked a bit better.
Now, historyouthere.com is where we'll find that story. It'll be up tomorrow. And you've got so many stories on historyouthere.com, folks. You've got to check them out. We've been doing this for, over a year now?
Yeah, it's about a year and 3 or 4 months. It's been a long time. But, Danny, there's so many important stories, and this one's more important than others, I think, because if anyone can go onto historyouthere.com share this story. We've got to get the name of James Patrick Sides known again, because he was a hero that, disappeared from history, and his place got taken by his brother instead.
Yeah, and we're getting lots of hits on the website too, aren't we?
Oh, that's right. But like I say, please share this story, because this is important for the Sides family, wherever they are. But James Patrick Sides, who died 130 years ago, after that tragedy, 150 years ago, just here at St Mary's.
There you go, historyouthere.com. Let's right or wrong. Let's talk facts. Let's talk West Bremer Radio.